Listen, are you tired of your full-time nursing job? Do you feel stuck? Do you feel frustrated? Do you feel drained? Is management getting on your entire nerves? Sound familiar? Then you know what? You are a good candidate to travel. Do what everybody else in the whole entire US is doing and travel, travel, travel. Travel nursing has been booming, especially since last year due to the COVID. And I imagine that it's going to be this way for a while. Take advantage of it. Jump on the opportunity. Here's why. So, hi, I am Shawnee. This is my channel, Shawnee's Journey. And today I want to talk about a few things, helpful things that travel nurses or nurses who want to travel from anywhere need to know or should keep in mind. Okay, nothing too critical, just in regard to the overall thought of traveling and working away from your comfort zone and what you consider to be home. Before I start that, let me just give a little background about me. I'm originally from the Bahamas, and in 2017, I took the opportunity to travel, for nursing to the USA. And my first travel job as an international traveler, it was a 2.5 year contract in Tucson, Arizona, that I loved. I literally fell in love with. And, going away from leaving that job was sad for me, you know. So I'm now based in Florida. And right now, today, I'm in Texas. So I've had a few jobs. So I sort of put together some things that people should know, anybody who's a nurse and want to travel. And it could be helpful for people who don't do nursing but want to travel, because it's basically getting your mind together to take the opportunity to go and do what you need to do. All right. So the first thing, I have some notes here because I'm a little, ditzy sometimes and I forget what I have planned out to say, and so that I don't go off course, I just jotted some stuff down so I stay on course. Okay, so the first thing I have here is there a desire? Do you want to travel or do you need to travel? And it's important to distinguish between the two. It's important to know where you fall, because this helps with your decision-making process. When I first came over to the US from the Bahamas, I needed to travel on a spiritual basis. Like, I just felt mentally drained, exhausted, frustrated, tired of the system that I was working with, and wanted a change. So for me and my health, I decided to do something to change that. Somebody may just want to change, but it may not be to that level that I was. It may not be that deep. And I respect that. That's respected. But here's the thing. If you just want to gain an experience, you don't have to take anything that comes your way. You don't have to take it if you need it as well. But, because the desire is greater, because of the need, you may take a position that you may have not taken before because it's something that you really need to do. So just sort of put in your mind, do I want to or do I need to? Because I've had a job where I just wanted to see what it was like. And one of my decisions was, okay, I'm not going to go too far from home. I'm not doing any other states. I need you to find something right in this state that I can go back home whenever I feel like it, with driving. So stuff like that helps to make the best travel decision for you. Helpful for me to negotiate my terms on what I want, because in traveling you have to negotiate for yourself, and you have to stand up and advocate for yourself. And you can sort of tweak your contract based on what you project and what you're willing to stand up for. Second point I have here is you have to be open. You have to be open to some things depending on your requirements. There is no cookie cutter perfect job. It reminds me of House Hunters. House Hunters, sometimes when I watch the show, it's like, I'll take the house. That it's just the zinc. It's the backsplash. You can change the backsplash, and somebody would say, "No, I don't want it. That's ugly. I'll change everything." And then they have to come back to that same house. I don't want anyone to miss opportunities because they turn it down due to one thing that could be overlooked or could be addressed in a more diplomatic manner rather than refusal. So keep that in mind. You have to be open to at least not getting everything on your wish list. And that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Even with nurses who are traveling internationally, the US has 52 states. You know, Florida is not the only state in the USA. And in my personal opinion, if you want to move Florida, you don't really want to change because it's basically the Caribbean at the end, especially South Florida, at the end of the USA. That's how I see it. And when you're open, you get more options, and you may like it, you know, it may go good. Work efficiently and independently. You're recruited to do a job, and regardless of what you need or what you desire, you have a contract to respect. You have an obligation to provide quality care, and it goes a long way with your reputation and with your connection and networking. So even though you're a traveler and you won't be there for a long term, you want to leave a good impression on the client, your co-workers, your agency, as well as the company that you were recruited for. It cannot be anything bad if you do a good job. You know, the only thing bad that happens when you do a good job is when you don't want the job anymore and they're begging you, and sort of charming you with incentives to stay, and you're like, no, get away, you know, like it's a boyfriend you want to break up with and he's buying you a Benz. You want the Benz, but you don't want the boyfriend. So that's the only thing that can happen if you do not want to stay and they sort of up the ante to keep you. But other than that, you're a prized possession. Even with networking with people, you know, they like to work with persons who know how to work well. And you have to remember, if they're recruiting travelers, there's a need. You know, the workload is heavy. Situations like that, the morale of the staff can be low if they're overworked. So you're going into an environment where you have people who do not particularly have time for anybody to be working below the bar. They need help, they need real help, and they would appreciate it if you really help them. So, you know, put your best foot forward. Even though it's not your permanent job, put your best foot forward. Do what you need to do. You can't go wrong with that. Next point to that is most of the jobs require you to work independently. I've heard new nurses talk about traveling. I don't recommend it. And I know that you see these fancy pay rates and you figure, I want that rate. And you figure, you know, I'm going to sign up for this because I can make that. You know, I'm doing this here. But too much is given, much is required. To whom much is given, much is required. And that's the situation with travel nursing. You may see those pay rates, just know that a lot comes with that. And if you're not ready to handle a lot, if you're not experienced with a lot, don't sign up for a lot, because at the end of the day, we're dealing with people's lives, and you have to place the accountability on yourself to be honest on what you can do, your scope of practice, your experience and knowledge base, and not to put anybody else's life in danger, or to not have anybody babysitting you to an extent, and to know that you can efficiently work and do what's needed to be done. There are many travel positions for nurses, so there definitely is going to be something in the area of what you can do. Just look for what truly speaks to you to sign up for. You have to be familiar with the company that you work for. Is it a legit company? Who's your recruiter? What are their policies, their protocols, overtime, their rates, their negotiations, the benefits? All of these things you need to be aware of, because once the ball gets going and you sign your name, you are expected to do what you were contracted to do. So it's not time to backtrack and try to figure things out yet. So we live in a world of information. Google is at hand. You can research anything, check the background on anything. There's so many forums, groups that you can ask. Have you heard about this one? Or you can check up on the internet to see their status, to see their reviews. You can do this in this day and age, so it doesn't have to be totally blind. And of course, my favorite research is my intuition that I keep praying for, so that I get to make the right decisions based on the knowledge that I have and the way that I feel, because the two have to go hand in hand. If I'm not feeling good about you, I don't care how much knowledge I had. It's a no for me. But the two go hand in hand, and just make sure that you really research and gather your information and review your contract to make sure that you can fulfill the commitment that you're signing up for. Number 5, it gets hard sometimes. It gets hard. There's no fairy tale with traveling like 100%. Here's the thing, and my last point is, life is worth living. Take the opportunity. You will be surprised where it takes you. Let's say we make it to 80 years, all of us. That never happens, but let's just say. Because the reality is, in life, the end point is we all die at the end. As dark as that may seem, that's the reality. But as dark as it may seem, it's going to push you to live life to the fullest. Don't you want to tell your kids about the time you did blah-de-blah-de-blah? Or do you want to tell your kids and your grandkids and your great-grandkids about the time I could have done this, but I turned it down and said no? Let me just tell you, the latter is not too good of a story. You sort of leave those poor children with, feeling sad for their grandmother or great-grandmother, that she should have taken the opportunity the way that I do. And I hear nurses tell me that what they had, or when I hear people tell me they had the opportunity to do this, but they didn't. I don't like to hear those stories. And thank you for anyone who shared those stories with me, because it made me feel as if I can't allow that to happen to me. I have to make this happen, and I have to see what it is. And good or bad, I'm going to roll with it and experience it. Life is meant to live. So you're sitting down wondering, should I take this job? Should I take this job? Should I take this job? Take the job. Take the job. It is 2021. I don't even know who's going to be literally working in the next 10 or 20 years. Everybody's working for themselves right now. It's an experience. It's a way to get show money. It's a way to do something and experience other things and live your life and see what you can gain, meet people, network. And if it's for a limited time, I say take it. That's just my idea. I don't know who I helped with that today, but don't think about it too much that you think against it. Yeah, like me, what I do sometimes. So sometimes you just have to press that button, accept, and go with it. You're going to be fine. You're going to do great. I hope these hints were helpful. I'm in a hotel now at my travel job, and I'm going to get some rest because I think I have a planned day ahead of me. So take care, and I'll see you guys next time.